Hey guys, and welcome back to your favorite podcast. It's your girls here with Mindset Talks podcast.
Yes.
And we wanted to start this off with you guys and making sure that you guys remember to follow us on all of your favorite platforms, right?
All.
So this is going to include your Instagram, your Facebook, and your YouTube, where you can find us at Mindset Talks Podcast. And don't forget that you can also check us out on the radio every Friday at 9 a.m. WDJY 99.1 FM.
Woohoo. That was a nice little flow. It was like a nice little rhythm to it. I like the way that sounded.
I try.
Yes. That's what you do. Smooth things smoothly. Okay.
Me smooth? I don't know about that.
I was just trying to gas you, girl. I was just trying to gas you. We know what it really is, but just take the compliment and run with it. Take it and run with it. Ugh. Anyways, speaking of running with it, let's
Uh-oh.
just run right into the topic that I've been waiting to talk about, right?
Have you? Okay.
Yes. I don't have a lot to say around it, but I got some things I want to say around it.
Oh boy.
So, just giving a heads up now, spoiler alert, right, for the Squid Games challenge.
Mm.
Um, you and I already have discussed that we've finished the show, but we
Yeah.
have not talked about the show.
We have not, and
As
I do
in
have some things to say too.
yes, for the last episode. So if y'all were here with us last week, we did talk about the show. But we only had one more episode to get through before the show was wrapped up.
Yeah.
And now we both know who the winner is. Before we say who the winner is, are you surprised?
No, I'm not surprised.
I feel exactly the same.
Yeah.
But you know me, I also am like, I'm not going to say there's a conspiracy, but there's always like a setup. Like there's always a setup for somebody to win.
Oh, here we go.
Me all the time, right? But yeah, so Mai was the winner
Mhm.
for the Squid Games challenge, which I'm sure many people probably weren't surprised by, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
She lucked out, I guess.
Well, she was very smart and strategic in a lot of the different games and stuff, which I think
Absolutely.
definitely helped her.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say, I say it's a setup, but obviously it's not a setup. But I jokingly say there's a setup. She was in the military. She works for the FBI, so
Mhm.
she has a skill set that most won't have, especially people who are considered as civilians, right? That have never been in the service.
Right.
So, in military training, from what I've heard, obviously I don't know, but I know people are trained in such ways that we may not even be able to imagine, and in such a strength that really
Mhm.
allows them to possibly be a step ahead or many steps ahead of us. So, I think that was a benefit for her to
Yeah.
have had been in the military. I mean, aside from the fact that, she was at gunpoint as a child. So, her mentality, I'm sure, is automatically different from most.
Yeah.
And then working in the FBI, working with the FBI or for the FBI,
Mhm.
obviously that's going to have some serious training, I'm sure, for the job that you do. So,
Yeah.
but kudos to her. I'm glad she was able to come at the top. As a woman, it's nice to see another woman, even though I'm not like, super like feminine or like a feminist or anything. So,
Yeah.
but it was just nice to see. It wasn't, she was up against two men, and smallest one standing, and she ended up being the winner.
Yeah.
So that's quite interesting. But how do you feel about that last episode and how it went?
Well, I thought that you were gonna go a little kind of like different direction when you said you had like a lot of things to talk about. So I don't know if I'm
Mhm.
gonna like touch base on kind of like what your thought process is, because again, we
Mhm.
haven't like talked about it.
Right.
But what I don't even really know where to begin
Mm.
with, because so like leading up to everything when it was just the three of them and stuff. I thought it was interesting that the, like, game that they played was, like, hit a button and, like, see see, like, what happens or whatever, like, luck of the draw kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say I knew what button was the right button to push, and,
Mm.
nobody pushed it, so, um,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just knew what it was. But anyways, so the last game that determined the winner, I was so, like, annoyed and, like, upset and, like, I was just so disappointed,
Mhm.
like, to say the least. When they came out and said, like, "Okay, like, the last game is going to fucking be rock, paper, scissors," I was
Man.
like, "You have got to be kidding me." Like, that is the, like, most lame thing that you could have possibly done. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yes
get
and
it.
no.
I'm so confused by it, and, like, yes, they had, like, a twist of, like, the whole key thing and, like, whatever, but, like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I just think it was too much of, like, a luck of the draw kind of, like, a situation, and
Yeah.
I personally was just, like, so irritated by, like, I really lost, like, playing rock, paper, scissors, like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah. No, that was a bit surprising, but at the same time it wasn't surprising because in the original series, the last game was a childhood game, so I can see how rock paper scissors can tie into something like that being a childhood game because
yes.
everyone played rock paper scissors, but
Right.
again, her strategy, she pays really good attention to stuff, and
Sure
sh
does.
she's just
Like,
like, men always go for, rock and scissors, and it's
mhm,
hilarious because right when we were watching the episode and seeing that they were playing rock, paper, scissors, I think it was
mhm.
at that part of the episode or even before we started the episode. For whatever reason, my boyfriend and I just did a quick little round of rock, paper, scissors, and
Did
he
you?
he
Before you knew that that's what it was?
he picked one of those 2. Yeah, he picked one of those 2, either rock or scissors first. I wanna say he picked scissors first, or I can't remember, but I wanna say he picked scissors first, but it was just funny because what he did was, and then we watched the show, and then she said the same thing that he did, and I was just like, "Well, goddamn," like, so now, for me, that's something that I learned and I'm just keeping in my mind, but she said it, and then, of course, how they edited the show, that's how it kept playing out, like,
Right.
but it was dumb that it was just like, "Okay, whoever wins this round goes and grabs a key," and it's just like, so
Yeah.
I gotta keep trying to beat her and then hopefully have the correct key. That part was lame, but I just
Yeah.
think that the rock, paper, scissors part was the only way they can make it similar to the original series with an
Gotcha.
old school game, because for
Yeah.
them, the Squid Game was an old school game for them, a childhood game.
Right. I mean, I guess so. I didn't really think about it in that kind of like a context. So when you say it that way, it makes sense. But I was still highly disappointed about the whole the whole situation, and I didn't even want to
Yeah,
watch like the last episode because I was just like, really, like you
it
waited
dragged
for this?
it dragged out far too long,
Yeah.
far too long. Have you seen? I'm sorry. Do you have more you want to say about this episode? Because I actually want to ask you about like after the episode.
Um. Well, I guess. Well, I had one question, but before I do that,
Yes.
I'm so stuck and so curious on the fact like why you and and your man are sitting there playing rock paper scissors.
Oh, we do that randomly. Like it's just something we randomly do sometimes. Like it's just be a rock paper scissors, and
Specifically, rock paper scissors.
well, yeah, like sometimes you just bust out because it's just like, oh, who's gonna grab the remote? Rock paper scissors. Like sometimes if like you don't feel like doing something, just do rock paper scissors, and it'll get you your answer.
I am so intrigued by this, but I must say I'm just, like, oddly not really surprised that this is something that y'all do with each other, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. I have no other comments.
Healthy competition. That's all.
I
Healthy
can't.
competition.
That's interesting. Okay. Alright, so after Squid Games,
Feel judged.
I'm just
Uh,
interested and not surprised at the same time.
it's me, girl. You know you're gonna get something random. Yes. After the Squid Games, though, I of course, just like with Love Is Blind or any of those
Mhm,
like relationship shows, I go and check the Instagrams, and I happened to actually catch some of them, like some of the cast members, like going live because of the final airing, the final episode.
mhm,
So there's just like they have those parties and things like that for the finale release,
mhm.
and so I was able to come across some of them, and it's cool to see like who's still cool with each other and things like that.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really interesting that my man sent me a screenshot of an article. Um, he actually sent me a screenshot of a few different things, talking like of people talking about like what really happened on the show and things like that.
Gotcha.
And it said that the show wrapped up in February,
Mhm.
um, and My still hasn't received any money.
Yeah, I read that too. It was I guess though it was in the contract that she wouldn't receive payment until the finale, like, aired,
Hmm.
which is
So it was just like I'm honestly a little shocked that they're actually giving that much money. Like, and
yeah,
then it's just making me a little curious as to where did that money come from?
right. Well, and how much is being taxed, right? Like, she's not gonna get all of
Oh,
that.
hell yeah. Right.
So
So it's just like, well, goddamn. But and there were so many people that didn't make it, far on the show at
mhm,
all, and just kind of, I guess, spilling the beans or making things up about what really went down.
mm,
Um, Things about like, which I expected, how like funky it ended up getting in that dormitory, and
sure.
how they extended the red light green light game for Trey's mom to make it, because they seen how close she was, and they like it would make for a better storyline if the both of them were able to make it, but originally his mom
Really?
didn't make it. Yeah, there were like people saying different things just about like how the producers would kind of like favor certain people, or especially they would favor certain people like if people were already like like TikTok famous or Instagram famous, if they had a large following, then they
Mm,
would try to like they would kind of like rig the games a bit, I guess, so those people would be able to have an extended life cycle on the show.
hmm.
Which sounds like hater talk too, but
Well,
uh
yeah. I mean,
you
yeah,
know
it's a TV show, right? Like, you have to keep that in mind too.
Yeah, so it was interesting that, people, I guess, since the finale came out, were finally able to say these things. But I would think that would still have some sort of NDA that they would have to sign,
Mm,
um, in regard to the show, but
guess
maybe not,
not.
or maybe that's not one of the things. But yeah, so it's just interesting to see, like, it's just like, oh, this is the show. And then it was just like this anticlimactic finale. And
It's
then
awful.
and then you just hear all these sourpuss ass people like, oh, they played favorites. And it's like, oh, you must have got picked last for dodgeball in elementary school. You're one of
Oh
those.
god, yeah. Not
Okay.
surprised. Listen, I told you, all them contestants are fucking pussies on that show. Like, I don't
Yeah.
care.
It was all about friendship, because literally,
Mm,
like, you just see a whole bunch of people mad cool with each other, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with making friends. I mean, y'all were losers anyways because you didn't make it to the top. So,
yeah.
but at the same time, I did see people with and they didn't look salty with her.
Mm,
So, it seemed pretty genuine, but a picture is worth a thousand words. So, who's to know what really is real or not?
mhm,
But yeah, I just thought it was a little interesting that that was the aftermath. But all in all, kind of a stupid show.
I think so too. Like, looking back at it and just, like, reminiscing about, like, everything that happened,
Mhm.
overall, it was, it didn't live up to the actual show. Maybe it did in, like, the
Yeah.
beginning, 'cause, like, I thought the whole, like, red light, green light thing and stuff like that was, like, pretty cool.
Mhm.
But just I I can't get over the pussiness and
Yeah. A lot of pussies in there.
just, like, I don't just, like, the extreme dialogue, right? Like, it was just a
Mhm.
lot more
Emotion and,
yeah, than it was, like
yeah,
yeah, I guess I expected
feelings.
it to be more of just, like, games and not
Yeah.
so social, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I go back to thinking how you're like, how did you even confuse the two shows? But we literally just like seen Squid Games and clicked play. We did not read the title.
Oh,
So that's where we just completely missed what we were really getting into. So,
gotcha.
um, but yeah, I'm kind of glad it's over, because it just felt, especially after that finale, I was like, oh, I just wasted my time watching this shit.
Yeah, I fell asleep the first time, then I had to watch it again.
Man. But is there an actual season 2 coming out for the original show?
I don't know. I think so because that is what I thought this was at first until,
Right.
I saw that it wasn't.
Right.
Um
Do you read the title?
But I think so, and I think that they're gonna do a second season of this too. The way I think it
Mm,
ended, like, asking for, um, like, volunteers or, like, whatever the hell, so,
yeah, they can kiss my ass on that one.
yeah.
That was such a waste. And it's like, ooh, to watch the same shit again.
Well, right, like, how are they gonna make it different, right? Like,
Right.
unless you're gonna do, like, the
Yeah.
same show with, like, a small variation in games, but keep the staples like the glass bridge and red light, green light,
Mhm.
uh,
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Did I mention that my man and I played Battleship?
You didn't mention it, but I know that you hadn't or something.
Yeah, so we've never actually played, but then like afterwards, talking about like the whole game night thing and like that
Mhm.
should be a thing. So we definitely ended up buying Battleship and we played and he lost, but we played and it was fun. But now I'm blessed that he lost.
Oh my
It
gosh.
was it was 1-1, but best out of three and your girl had to just show him how it's done.
Look at that.
So yeah, it was pretty cool. It was actually more entertaining than I thought it was going to be.
Mhm.
So, but it is a fairly slow paced game. So it's
Yeah.
like if you just want to chill and sip some wine and play something, because that's pretty much what we did,
Right.
then Battleship's pretty cool for that. So
Yeah.
that was nice, especially being like an adult. Like I'm not jumping around and doing extra shit right now.
Right.
Aside from the fact it was like 9 something at night, which is late nowadays. So,
Well, it
I
is.
wasn't doing much.
Ugh.
But yeah, no, so it was cool. So, and if y'all interested in Battleship, go ahead and go and get that. It'll be a good chill night with some Battleship, and especially with it being winter now
Mhm.
too, and not really wanting to come out the house to do anything. I
Yeah.
thought it was pretty cool.
No, that's true. I'm glad that you guys, bought it and played it.
Thanks. Yeah.
Happy for you.
Yeah. Thanks, girl. Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
But yeah, so I just thought this would be a great time to kind of just mention since talking about winning and we're talking about the Squid Games and being attentive that we can kind of just mention here this elixir that we are sponsoring here with Magic Minds. Um, definitely get out there and try it if you've never had it before. I do find it to be a great addition to my morning routine. So I'm actually noticing that it is helping me to just last longer throughout the day. Like that energy, there's not really that plummeting. I'm just really just flowing through the day. And all I need is really my morning dose, mid morning dose with my morning tea, and your girl is good. I definitely feel the pressure coming off. I don't know about you, girl, and how it's been given for you, but right now I can definitely say that my focus is on, my energy is up, and my stress is down.
Yes, well, that is super good because there's no better way than to have all those kind of different aspects, right? Like the energy levels and the stress levels, being where they
Mm-hmm.
should be, all while doing it in like a natural form and not being hyped up and like all this like sugar from like all these like other kinds of energy drinks and stuff like
Oh,
that.
I know.
So,
Oh.
I do think it's really cool that we are now in this new partnership with
Mm-hmm.
Magic Mind because I, like you, have also been noticing some similar, like results from taking
Yes.
taking this elixir, and
Mm-hmm.
the focusing, is a huge thing for me.
Girl,
Um,
yes. Yes. Focus in your memory.
yeah. So I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that like it's replaced my coffee or anything like that yet,
Right.
but I can definitely tell that it is helping to make a difference,
Mm-hmm.
in not only just kind of like my, like, tiredness levels because y'all know I have long days. All right.
She has long days and early nights.
I very much so.
You have
Um,
early mornings and early nights. That's what that is.
yeah. So, it's definitely helped, in that regard, so, you
Mhm.
know, can't go wrong with that, right?
Yeah. No, not at all. Want to give thanks to that ashwagandha in there, girl. I just love ingredients that sound like that because it's just like it just feels so next level and it just feels like ashwagandha. Like,
Reminds me of
yeah,
Black
no, we
Panther.
ain't right. You're like, we ain't talking about no like black pepper. It's like ashwagandha. This is what was it? Vibranium. It's like the
Oh,
vibranium from Black Panther. Ashwagandha.
Ashwagandha from Wakanda.
I'm done with you.
I don't know, that's just what I think about when you say ashwagandha. I just think of
Ashwagandha from
Wakanda.
Wakanda. Yes, ashwagandha is the new vibranium. Get yours. But yes, no. So if y'all are truly interested in trying this out, we definitely even have a discount for you. If you go to magicmind.com/mindset talks pod, you can definitely utilize our discount where we have a code set for you, Mindset Talks 20. So Mindset Talks 2020. You can go ahead and use that discount code and you could get a little something off on your first try. I'm pretty sure you'll keep coming on back and getting some more, but we want to go ahead and get you in there and get you good.
Yes, definitely. So make sure you guys check it out. Um, on Amazon where you can get it as well. But
Yes.
magicmind.com is where it's at.
Yes, and you can also find it in Sprouts farmers markets across the country. So,
Yes.
if you're not always about getting things online, which probably most of us are today because that's just how we do things, you can still go into the Sprouts farmers market stores and get it there too.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. You're gonna need to keep on drinking that too because you got a little something behind you there that I know that you've been focusing on not focusing on. Talk about that
Oh,
for oxymoron.
I can't with you. Oh, Amanda's just over here putting me on blast for all these side conversations we had before we podcast.
Go ahead, tell them, girl. Tell them. Tell the people.
All right. Well, okay. So, guys, before we started recording, I had to ask Amanda a question. I don't know how they do things over there in her household when it comes to Christmas, gifting, and hiding gifts and things like that. But over here, your girl Cassie always makes sure that all of her gifts are hidden so that way no one can come across anything. And we know
Mm,
how guys are when it comes to like looking for things. So I'm not too worried about it. But
mm.
my man, on the other hand, he's not the greatest hider and is pretty much more of like, hey, your gift is over there, so just make sure you don't go and look at it.
Oh my gosh, that's the worst.
It really is because the restraint that your girl has to have to make sure that she don't go snooping through these things to ruin her surprise is
Whew.
very tough, especially when those of you who are watching this on YouTube can see
Yes.
all of these packages behind me. They're all mine, and I can't look at them. And it is so hard for me to sit here and focus on what's going on in front of me and not what's just sitting there behind
Yo,
me.
y'all, if she could like take an eyeball out of the socket and toss it over there to just read the labels real quick and then her eye roll back, she would. She
Oh,
really would.
I would, because it's like it's a kid in a candy store, right? You're like, "Ooh, like, I have gifts, like, I wanna know what it is. I don't wanna wait, like, 2 more weeks." Like, uh,
Oh my gosh. So I'm curious now, was there anything specific that you told him you had wanted?
yes.
Do any of those packages look like anything?
I don't know, okay? I don't know, I'm gonna
Y'all, she's the worst.
find
She
out.
really is over here, like, for those of you who can't see, she's over here saying, I don't know. But she turns her seat sideways so she could take a look at the packages through the screen so that way she doesn't have to actually turn and look.
'Cause I'm trying not to, but, like, come on now.
Oh
Snoop
my
it under the bed or
gosh.
something so it's not
Yeah,
just there.
I think the thing is with us over here, we don't actually hide gifts. Like, we're just kinda, like, last minute gifters too, so it kinda makes it easy where it's just like,
You don't have to hide
yeah,
anything.
I don't have to hide anything, like, just don't touch that box, like, I think it's also gotten to the point where because he accidentally opened one of my packages one day, which wasn't actually for him, it was one of my packages,
Mhm.
but, sometimes you just like opening things because it feels like a gift because you're opening it,
Right.
and so I was mad, I was like, "Don't be just opening everybody's packages up in here, like, was your name on that?"
Mhm.
So I think maybe I instilled like a little like discomfort into him for when a package comes. He's just like, well, I'm not touching that. Might even have his own name on it. He won't even touch it.
Oh
So
gosh.
we don't really have to worry about that. But our anniversary will have passed by the time this episode drops.
Mm.
So I actually do have his anniversary gift that's hiding.
Oh.
Did slightly threaten him, don't touch the box, don't look at the box. So I was able to get his gift out of that box and go hide it. So
Oh.
I don't know if he realizes that I hid it. You know,
Well, if he's behaving and not looking, then he wouldn't
he's
know.
he's not a seeker. So I don't
Oh,
really
that's good.
have to, yeah, I don't really have to worry about that. And I
Mm.
honestly put minimal effort into hiding it. So it was just like, well, I mean, if he comes across it, then shame on him. Because then I know he was actually looking for it at that point.
Oh,
Because it's just, certain places where they don't go in the house.
right.
You just know. So
Yeah.
it's like, all right, well,
It would have to be for them to, like, trip over it for them to, like, look there.
that's still slightly questionable around here, but love you, boo. Ain't gonna say nothing more on
Yeah.
that. So, and
Uh,
so you were also mentioning in our sidebar that this is something that's fairly traditional in your family lifestyle of gift hiding.
oh, so kind of yeah, there's, like, a few different things that, like, branched off of this conversation. So, yes, one of them being I just remember, like, growing up and stuff, and my dad would always get so pissed off at my mom because
Mm.
he would actually be the guy that goes out of his way and, like, make sure he hides gifts so that way, you won't find them, you won't come across them. He
Such a
doesn't just
good dad
leave them in plain
in the
sight.
corner for you to walk past on a
Um,
day-to-day basis.
exactly. He would actually, like, hide them, but my mom just I don't know, being my mom just gets into everything, every nook, every cranny, no matter what it is, she gets into it,
Child.
and no matter where he would hide these things and, like, I would say they were, like, pretty good hiding spots, right? Like, it's not
Hmm.
just kind of, like, thrown somewhere, like, where you
And you
can
just open the
easily
door
see
and
it.
see it.
Yeah. But
Hmm.
she would always find her gifts, and whether she's doing it intentionally or not, I still don't really know the answer to that question. It might be a little bit of both.
Oh my
But she would
goodness.
always find them, and she wouldn't even be like, "Oh my god, I think that's, like, for me," and, like, put it back or whatever. No, she'll, like, open it, she'll go through everything, and she'll just, like, ruin the
Oh
entire
my gosh.
she's, like, the worst.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
Dang, she didn't even try to play it off. She's just like, oh,
yeah.
gift. Guess it needs to be opened.
Mhm, and she'll be like, "Oh, I found my, like, necklace or whatever, like, downstairs in the pantry," or, like, whatever the hell, you
Oh
know?
my gosh.
He would get so mad. It was
But would
great.
still continuously hide gifts year after year.
Yep, he would still try.
It's like she's over here like, oh, is this a scavenger hunt?
Pretty much. I mean, well, I told y'all before, right? Like, they used to have that whole little vibe going on with, like, him hiding scratch-off tickets around the house when she would find
Yes.
them, so I think that she just
Yeah.
didn't get the memo that, like, Christmas gifts are
Stop.
not a part of this
Those are
process.
off limits.
Oh, so it's just interesting to just kinda think about that and just see, like, if these were my mom's gifts, she would
Hmm.
know everything about them. She would have been in them and, like,
Right.
it would have been destroyed, but
She would have had the weight packaging
ooh,
and told you everything on how to use it. This girl over here about to knock over her setup. So excited about them gifts behind you.
'cause I was gonna give myself a pat on the back because I swear that I haven't touched or looked at anything, so
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Nope. Over here, it's really, really not the same. So when it comes to the amount of gifts over there, are you rethinking your gift giving?
So that was all that
Yes, did you?
that was for those of y'all that are just listening, I just keep slowly moving my chair away so I can see the gifts behind me.
Oh
Um,
my gosh.
what were we talking about?
I was asking if you were rethinking your gift giving now that
Oh,
you
oh, oh,
see
oh.
pretty much what you have and what you've hidden for him. Do you think that there's more you should do, or are you satisfied with what you got him?
No, I'm definitely not satisfied because I mean, I think I got him a decent amount of things, but
Mhm.
something that I don't know if I've talked about on the podcast before, but I know that you know this is like I grew up with a lot of stuff. Um, Christmas
Yeah, y'all had a
gifts
lot of stuff.
Christmas gifts was never Chris
They had a lot of stuff, guys.
Christmas gifts were never, I was very blessed when it came to Christmas time, right? Like,
Definitely.
I wasn't one that, had to guess or struggle or,
Mhm.
not really be able to enjoy all of the things. And so I'm just used to an abundance of stuff, right?
Yeah, y'all had a lot of stuff.
So
That's all I can say.
so that is just a norm for me that like I grew up with and trying
Mhm.
to gel that into this new life that like I'm creating with him has
Mhm.
been a struggle because I want to buy 5,000 things, and if I don't have
Mm.
5,000 things, I'm not satisfied, and I feel like I'm not doing enough for him,
Yeah.
but he was on the complete other side of that, right? He didn't really get a lot for Christmas, and there's,
Mhm.
like, one gift that, like, he talks about all the time, like, it a whole bunch of stuff wasn't something that, like, he grew up with, and so just getting,
Mhm.
like, you know, 3 things or whatever is sufficient for him, and he feels like,
Yeah.
that's good enough. Um,
Mhm.
so trying to get accustomed to that different dynamic has been a little challenging.
Meeting in the middle,
Um,
yes.
and so, like, I feel like I got just enough things. Like,
Mhm.
it's not as many as, like, I feel like I should be getting, but I
Okay.
think that, like, it's enough. But then, like, I
Mhm.
see all of this.
There she go turning in her chair again.
I see all of this behind me, and I know one of them is new because that wasn't there the other day.
This chick is tracking what is there by day. I am done. Get out of the room. Tell
Oh.
him to put a sheet over it. Tell him to put it in the closet.
I'm gonna have to tell him something because I can't help myself. I mean, I can. I'm not gonna look. I promise. I'm not gonna look. But
Oh my
just
goodness.
seeing like more things like pile up over there, like I feel
Mhm.
like I need to now turn around and go get more things.
Oh my gosh. That's hard though. And yeah, because it's funny because when you say that, like, I'm more along the same side of him as in like compared to what I grew up with versus what I seen at y'all house. Yeah, y'all definitely had an abundance. Like you already opened gifts in the morning and I come over in the afternoon, you're still got more gift like a bunch of gifts left to open. It's like, God damn, like would they wrap like each item individually around here? I don't know what's going on. But no, you guys definitely did. And I do agree with that feeling of wanting to just buy everything, right?
Mhm.
Just get an abundance. Like, yeah, I'm getting a gift for someone, but I want to get them like either something like really, really good or like many really good things.
Right.
And it's hard. And I can definitely say that was one of my main things as to why I wasn't really into celebrating Christmas because I was in a predicament before where I put myself in debt buying Christmas gifts, like no lie. I had spent more money than I needed to be spending on Christmas gifts because I
Mhm.
wanted to make sure I got many nice things for many people. So for me, that was like, whoa, like a major setback and was just like, yo, F this holiday. Then that put me in debt, you know? So
Mm.
I was looking at it from the wrong perspective, but definitely quality over quantity. I think that is most important than not.
Yeah.
And also just the fact that you're even gifting someone, I think is just it speaks volumes, right?
Mhm.
Like you're spending your money, you're taking your time to get this for someone.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure what you have is sufficient for him and I'm sure he's gonna be happy with it.
Please.
Um and and at the same time, again, this is a I it's a part of a religion, but it's also a retail holiday. If we're gonna be honest, it's 2023, so that's a part of Christmas. We don't have to wait until this day to get gifts. So if you feel like
Right.
what he got you, like blows what you got, like blows it out of the water compared to what you got him, just get him something later. That's all.
Well, he says it every year. He says that he's the better gift giver and he always gets the better gifts and
Oh
I
damn,
don't
he's
like
so cocky. I can't stand him. He is so cocky for that one.
he is, and then it's like it's hard and I feel like I get super stressed out because I'm like I
Mhm.
have to find like the perfect gift and I feel like I've
Yes.
never been able to to do that yet. But then it's also hard because it's like what do you get someone that can get whatever they want
Anything for
to,
themselves. Yeah.
and they don't need someone else to like get stuff for them and half the things that like they
Mhm.
really want they've already done for themselves. So it's
Yes.
like I can't
That's where I'm
really
at.
top that if you already get everything that, like, you need, you know?
Yeah. Nope,
So,
completely understood. That's why I didn't get my man's gift yet. I got gifts for the nieces and nephews and for my baby, which I didn't get her a lot because I already know from her grandmother it's just gonna be overwhelming and we don't have much space left in here. So
yeah.
but my man, hardest person to get a gift for right now. And he's like, just get me an experience. Like let's go somewhere and do something. Like it doesn't have to be a physical item. And I'm like, bitch, that's just as hard as getting a physical item.
It
Like,
is.
oh, thank you for saying that to make it easier. Oh, that was not any easier, you know?
Yeah.
So I definitely understand just trying to be able to figure that out. So
Yes.
if you come across anything good, let me know because I could use a hint or two. Just
Uh,
after this, just go ahead and let me know what you got him, and I can see if there's anything I can work with too. No.
will do, actually. Oh, man.
No, it's hard out there, but that's also the good thing about having friends, right? We all can share ideas and just kind of
Mhm.
just take bits and pieces from each other and piece something together for someone else if need be.
Yeah, no, definitely. Uh, and it's also another good reason why we've been introduced to this magic mind because I'm telling you, this anxiety about Christmas shopping and gifts and all this nonsense is wild.
Yeah, I'll say this is the most relaxed I've ever been, and I'm working my
Uh,
way back into the holiday spirit. So,
Oh,
we'll give big thanks to that because, oof, child,
good.
you know where I've been. You know where I've been.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. Well, I don't think I have anything more to say about any of that. I think I've said my piece.
Yes, girl. No, thank you for sharing that. And thanks for sharing your gifts with us. We cannot wait to hear what you got as long as it's all appropriate to share or you're comfortable with sharing. So we look forward to hearing what that is. And we'll go ahead and wrap it on up. And until next time.
Bye, guys.